Hi, I'm Steve from Shoe Mods with Steve Petrarca. Today I'm going to do a simple shoe modification of a 1/2 inch heel raise. I suggest you look at the videos that I made prior to this about documentation and measuring for shoe modifications. I'm going to start off by removing the factory heel before I start doing my shoe modification. I like to use my square tip knife, and when I'm doing this I actually wet the knife. It makes it slide through the material a lot easier. Sorry about the noise. So we're just going to follow the factory line here to cut the lift off. And if you ever been fishing and filleted fish, same idea. You're basically just cutting this material just to get that off and try to keep it as even as possible. All right, so what I've basically done here is I've cut, like I said, filleting a fish. And I'm just doing the last cut to get this finish off. So there's my finished heel from the factory. I'm going to reuse that. So I'm going to grind this to level it off before I put my build-up on here. All right, so I've leveled this off, and I'm going to use some, it's known commonly as crepe or EVA. This is a 1/2 inch thick, and we're just going to cement this and this, let it dry, and then we'll put it together. All right, cement's all dry, and what I'm using for the bonding agent is all-purpose cement. Very straightforward, any porous material. So we're just going to make contact here. You don't have to go too crazy. You don't have to wheel on it, just making contact with the two pieces. Just make sure the edges are hit well. All right, now I'm going to go over to my 5-in-1, cut this. That's all of that. I like to cut a little closer with the lip knife just to save on grinding time. The trim knife does a nice job of making this even with the factory. Very nice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the heel that I cut off. I'm going to smooth this out. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just checking to see how the shoe sets on that lift. And you want to keep about 1/8 of an inch at the back of the heel of space. And that's just so that when the shoe mod is done, the shoe is not slapping on the ground. If you make it even or flush with that finished heel, the shoe's going to slap when they walk. So usually about 1/8 of an inch at the back of the heel. So I'm almost done with trimming this back. Okay, so I shut the machine off because I think you can hear me better. What I've done is I ground this lift to set on that finished heel, but I left a gap of roughly 1/8 of an inch at the back of the heel. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a gap of roughly 1/8 of an inch at the back of the heel, because you don't want this heel to sit flush because the shoe will slap as the person is walking. So you want a little give at the heel, and it won't slap the heel down. I also check to see how the shoe is setting in general. If it's leaning to one side or the other, I'm going to take a little bit more of the the medial side of the shoe. All right, I've got it all leveled off. I got my finish heel. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to bond this. Again, we have to let it dry, and then we'll attach it and do the finishing touches. Again, using all-purpose cement. You want to put it on nice and even. All right, so we're ready to put the finished heel on, rather. And I'll be honest with you, before I put this on, I measured it. I didn't have enough. I had to add a little more to the heel. Again, when I measure from the center of the heel, not the back. So I had to add another 1/4 inch before I put this finish on. Contact cement. Now the only thing left is to grind it, put the finishing touch on it, and I'll show you a finished product when we're set. All right, so this is our finished product. When I do a heel raise, if sometimes you'll see that the heel will be poking out the back like this, it should try to make it as close to the same shape as a factory. You don't want it sticking out the back. This is a tapered heel. It's okay. Not happy with it completely, but not bad. So that's your finished product. 1/2 inch heel raise. Like, subscribe, stay tuned for the next video.